This innovation suite model is what we refer to the series of programs. It's to create that partnership between a researcher and the practitioner community to address specific issues, and then to use research to better understand those issues. So why is this a problem? Why is this a persistent crime problem? And what can we do to address that?
I think that these innovation suite programs are so unique and so just a really fantastic contribution to the field. I've worked on a few of these, and I think it's just a fantastic way of bringing researchers and practitioners together, not just to get that evidence out there, but also to kind of bridge that gap between these two very different institutions.
When we talk about practitioners, we're talking about the people in the field who are actually doing criminal justice work. They could be police officers, they could be corrections individuals, they could be prosecutors, that sort of thing. They're the people in the trenches doing the day-to-day work in criminal justice. When we talk about research practitioners, we're talking about people who are academically trained to evaluate and assess the work that those kinds of individuals do.
Practitioners, I guess, first, really are driven by case-related information and knowledge about cases. It's terrific. Researchers are lousy at that. Researchers look across cases and can summarize data and analyze data from looking across cases. So when you get those two different orientations together, you really get something that is beyond either one of them alone. And that's what I think this whole program is really seeking to build.
All of the different disciplines add a different perspective on how things relate to your experience and how you're going to work. And as a practitioner, you have police officers, you have command staff, you have all of these different, for the sake of a better way of saying it, like masters, are all these different drivers of why you need to do something. So bridging that and taking it and understanding how one group would want one thing and another group needs another perspective, and that kind of melds it together so that you have a relationship that not only sustains the actual practice that you're doing, but also builds towards the future in your capacity.
Action-based research is really, to me, where it happens, in the sense of you're getting in there with the police or with whoever you're working with, the community, and seeing actually the social dynamics occur in the neighborhoods and what is happening.
And so action research is done, again, to solve a problem. It's to be actionable. You're using data in a way that evaluates and solves a problem.
One of the fascinating things we see here is when we present research back, the practitioners give it entirely new meaning that comes out of their experience. So they have deep understanding of specific incidents and cases and the people that are involved and the locations that they occur that I'll never have as a researcher.
From our perspective, I can't even imagine going into this field without having the partnership of our researchers. They are there to give you guidance. This is an area that they're familiar with, collecting data and seeing what the data means, where from the police perspective, it's all new to us.
And what we've also learned is, even though the technique may work, it's all about implementation. So differences in outcomes tend to be explained by differences in the capacity of those jurisdictions to actually implement a program.
Implementation teams, as they're called, tend to be highly, highly effective in identifying the challenges as they emerge and being able to solve them with the help and input, if you will, of the practitioners doing the work on the street and the decision makers or policy makers that head the organization and head the system that they're working in.
For the sustainability and implementation, I think that you need goals that you have set, and you need to make strategic plans in order to achieve those goals, because if you don't have that plan, how can you properly execute everything? And you have to have the passion and the drive to want to achieve those goals, whether it's just with us, it's getting active shooters on the streets, or it's, reducing gun violence within the city. So if you have that passion for wanting to make the community safer by, getting these active shooters off the streets, it'll only amplify, how well you execute the plan with these strategic, strategies that you have in place.
I always tell people, I come here and I steal as much as I possibly can. I want to take all of the good parts that other agencies, that other practitioners are exploring, and I want to see if I can integrate them into our agency and push forward.
This is a place where you have organized theft of tons of good ideas, and the innovations that grow out of this and spread out of this are terrific.